Hey everyone, it's Chris with Hotshots here, and I'm back with another problem that we find that our clients have. And one of those big ones is tight timelines, right? And it might not be your timeline, right? But it might be your customer's timeline, right? So let's say, for instance, you have an event, it's Monday, and you got an event on Friday. How many times has that happened to you? And it might not obviously be your fault. It could just be the client or your company or what have you kind of rushing to put things together. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the biggest thing is you got to have good vendors by your side, and you need to find proficient vendors that can really work with tight timelines and deadlines that you have. Maybe it's not even a tight timeline. Let's say it's something that's months out. Either way, you need to have a good vendor who's going to stand by your side and be able to get the job done whenever you need them to and not drag their feet. So a couple of these points here are going to help you with that. The first one I want to go over is being efficient. Right? Good vendors are very efficient with their time. They might be short on time, even with a phone call with you, but they're very efficient in how they overall do the job. And you should see that. You can definitely tell between a vendor that's new in the space versus someone who has many years of experience, right? Ones that have many years of experience, I always can just tell based on how they come in or load in, right? Go look at a loading dock and go see how the vendor loads in based on who they are. Go look at their truck, go look at their vehicle, go look at how many people they're bringing to the event. That's also a clue. So it's very important to find efficiency in vendors, and those are some just key ways that you can even do that. Is just to look at efficiency from a vendor and see them out in the wild, if you will, and see how they act, and say, hey, do I maybe want to work with that vendor? Networking events, good way. Any kind of event that you have or that you go to, go look at it. Go see. So efficiency is one of the first ones I want to talk about. Another one is responsiveness, right? So you're in a hurry. It's crunch time. You got to get this event booked. Responsiveness is pretty important, right? You want to have a quick talk or quick chat, quick email to the vendor and make sure, hey, I'm ready to book this right now. This is what I want to do. And you got to be able to obviously share that information with them so that they can be responsive back to you and be able to give you all the information that you need in order to book or move forward with your tight deadline event. So that's something to think about too, not even just on the vendor, but also on you. Do you have all your information together to present that to the vendor and tell them exactly what you want? Always have your stuff, your ducks in a row, as they say, before you even go to the vendor and say, this is what time we're starting, this is what I want, and this is what I'm expecting from you. And if they're responsive, then they're going to get back to you. They're going to book that thing really quickly, and then you're not going to have any worries until the really even for after the event, as I like to say. But you might still have a little bit of worries there up until the event, especially on the short deadline stuff. Another thing is vendors that are professional in this tight deadline or timeline space that you're looking to book events for. They need to be flexible. And I always say, it's kind of not common knowledge, but professionals should be very flexible. Even though they have events booking, they have all kinds of things going on. But I personally believe that a true professional in the vendor space, no matter what it is, should be very flexible with their time when it's coming to serve you, their client, right? Or could be client. And so in that scenario, let's say you reached out to me on Monday, you got an event tomorrow. If I can be flexible for an event, then I will be, right? I will try my hardest to be able to book that event for you. But then there's vendors that they just don't really care. And I think that shows and tells more about them and their services than even your tight deadline, right? So think about that too. I think true professionals are very flexible when they can be. Now, true professionals are also very busy, but at the same time, if they can help you with their event, they should at least be able to talk to you or give you other ideas or other vendors' information to help you plan that event as well. The last thing is being well organized, right? So if you want to be able to have a true professional vendor, then they should be very well organized. They should be able to, when you call, hey, they're picking up the phone, they're getting stuff ready. You say, hey, I need this custom drink, or I need this custom gelato, or I need this custom balloon setup, or whatever it is, that they are so organized that they're getting back to you. They're sending you pictures. They're helping you plan this thing. It's not just, yeah, we'll figure that out whenever the time comes. Hang up, right? You want them to be organized, and then when you see them come to the event, you don't even have to say anything, really. A true professional vendor, you really shouldn't have to say much, if anything at all, even if they're calling you and talking to you and all that, but they're ready to go, and they should have most of that information even before the event. Now, once again, timelines change, people change, all kinds of things change. But like I said, if they're professional, they're well organized, they should be able to put everything together for you very quickly and be able to nail that event to where you almost don't even have to talk to them. If you didn't talk to them all night, that's fine. But you really don't have to, because they got everything down. They asked you all the questions that they needed. Nothing's changed about the event. And if it did, they're flexible to be able to move and sway and dance to make sure your event is possible. So just a couple tips there, talking about tight deadlines, tight timelines, and we know it's not the ideal situation, but it happens. It happens more, especially in our business, than you would expect, right? So think about that. If you guys are having a tight deadline and you need a coffee caterer, certainly think about us and all the different offerings we have. We have our Italian sodas, frappes, gelato, and the gelato is more about a week out because we make everything fresh, but we're there for you if you have something that you need to hurry up and get booked a week out, a couple weeks out, what have you, or hey, maybe it's a year out or a couple of years out and you just want a professional, then go to hotshotscatering.com. Maybe you're there now, get a quote above somewhere here, and reach out to us, and we'd love to work with you. Thanks so much.